Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome into another edition of Sal's House. A little something different for you today. I'm standing here with Bob Koshinski, former Channel 7 sports director, also Empire Sports Network, right?
Is the food better here today at this house than your house?
Listen, food is always great here at Chef's Restaurant. You invited me here today, and I'm so thankful to talk about and with Ernie DiGregorio. There's his book, Ernie D, the great Ernie D. And you said, Sal, come on to Chef. We're going to be promoting Ernie's book and talking with him. He's here. We're going to talk with him in a little while. Thank you so much. It's awesome. I was 5 when the Braves left. What do you remember about the Braves?
Well, I was in college when Ernie came to the Braves. I was going to the University of Dayton. But I did see him at the then college coaches all-star game, which was played at the University of Dayton in the arena. I still have the old program. So I knew Ernie and Ernie D, and then, of course, followed him for a couple years with Buffalo. We were just having a discussion with members of the Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame because he's not in the Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. And part of that is because, you know, the newer members of the board, they weren't here or didn't remember Ernie playing. And Ernie was only in Buffalo for 4 years, but he was Ernie D. He was Rookie of the Year. He led the league in free throw shooting. He was the magician with the basketball. I mean, if you watched him play once, you remembered him. And he's a great guy. And I hope he wrote a book. And he's trying to get a movie off the ground. And that would be interesting to see how Buffalo's portrayed in that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was watching some of the highlights here. I didn't realize how dynamic of a player he was, right? You hear about Ernie D, you hear about some of the great things that he did, the stats, but dynamic too. I mean, like some of these behind the back passes. This guy was kind of before his time with the basketball.
He was a smaller version of Pete Maravich. He wasn't the scorer that Pete
I was thinking the same guy.
But he could do the behind the back, pass, the dribble between the legs. He set everybody up. And it was funny because today he talked about how much, Bob McAdoo never saw a shot he didn't like. So when he would throw the ball to Bob, he knew that was going up, but he would try to get his own. But he was a gritty little guard. He didn't talk at all about his Providence career, but, they made it to the Final Four. They were beating, I think it was Memphis State by 16 points when Marvin Barnes, his teammate, his knee went out and they lost the game. It's another version of what happened to St. Bonaventure for those in Western New York. Bob Lanier went down just before they made the Final Four. So he could have been on a national championship college team as well.
That's pretty amazing. All right, so listen, before we get Ernie D over here, and we're going to talk with Lou over here at Chef's. And by the way, of course, Sports City Pizza Pub, fans of Buffalo Logo, thank you always for being a spot. You know how this works in this business. We got to thank our spot. You should absolutely go see Mike Rizzo and the gang. There you go. And fans of Buffalo, how about this now? They take care of like charter flight, game ticket, hotel. You pay them one price for all Bills trips if you want to go on. It's pretty crazy. All right. A lot of people watching this go, man, that's Bob Koshinski back in the day. I mean, what are you doing these days? Tell everybody catch up a little bit.
So I've got All Services Western New York, which is my business. And it's turned into a lot of video production. We do video production for the Buffalo Film Office, for the Buffalo Niagara Association of Realtors. I did a documentary for Chef's Restaurant last year for their 100th year. We do a lot of work for DePaulo. I do a lot of work for restaurants because, as you know, Sal, they pay well. They pay well because they don't.
And we like to eat.
Your pocket. Exactly. They put food in your stomach. So I got a lot of work with that. I do a lot of promotions this week. I'm doing the Porter Cup. They're one of my clients, and that's a great amateur tournament. And I do video and photos for that all week. So I'm very busy. Yeah.
You were up there. I saw you, and Matt Bove was there, who's now Channel 7 sports director. This business too. I always tell people the big thing. Like when I went to Syracuse, even this is in the 1990s. If you went into radio, you were in radio. If you went into TV, and you were TV. Now you got to do a little bit of everything in this business.
Right. And Matt Bove is the second Niagara Wheatfield graduate to become WKBW-TV sports director. I was sports director in '89. And Matt's out there. Matt went to school with my son, Danny, so it's great to see him do well.
And Danny Never this year, a lot of great people. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. Yeah, bring the, Ernie D over here if we can, for sure. Well, I tell everybody about the sponsors here, of course. Fans of Buffalo, go to fansofbuffalo.com if you're interested in going to a Bills game this year. I think we're going to even add some Sabre stuff coming up. They'll take care of your game ticket, your travel to the game, your hotel, tailgating needs, everything. One stop, fansofbuffalo.com. Sports City Pizza Pub, 1407 Niagara Street. Pizza, wings, all the games are there. And, of course, Buffalo Logo. Printing, screen printing, screening, all that is going on. And look at this guy coming up here. This is Ernie DiGregorio, Ernie D. Sal Capaccio. Today was the first time I ever met you. But I've heard so many great stories about you. And then I'm watching these highlights. Pretty amazing. I just said to Bob Koshinski, you were a little bit before your time, the way you could handle the basketball. And kind of you were a very dynamic player on the court. Did you see yourself that way?
Yeah, well, I always went straight ahead. I never went back. I always attacked the basket. And I had great ball handling skills. And that leads to being a great passer. So you can see your teammates getting open.
So the 3-point line came into existence while you were playing, right? So what if you had grown up with it when you're at when you're Providence? What would have been would your game have ever changed?
It would have. I think it would have ruined my passing because I would have shot a lot. So I was glad the 3-point line wasn't around when I played because we were taught to move the ball and get the closest shot. That was the best shot. Now they completely go against that. They want to shoot threes.
Lou Picone coming up. Look at this guy.
You are tall.
Bill's legend.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm good. Thank you for coming.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I couldn't miss this. You know, huh?
Lou Picone right here, baby.
Hi, guys.
All right. Former Buffalo Bills wide receiver. It's great, right? I never got to watch this guy play. That was pretty cool watching highlights.
I'm telling you, this man came. I came after he left, right? So 77. Oh, you left 77. Then you were here. You were here yet? I just didn't know he was here because I'm oblivious.
Ernie, you told. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Ernie is signing some stuff here. Let me kind of move this over. Ernie D, everybody. Ernie DiGregorio, one of the great all-time Buffalo Braves. They were only here briefly. They left when I was 5 years old. Don't really remember. Tell me about the fan support you got in Buffalo for the Buffalo Braves.
Yeah, the fans are great. You know how they support the Sabres and they support the Bills? That's the same type of response we got with the fans. They were really receptive. They loved basketball, and they were right there every single game.
And what was it like? I mean, you weren't here when they left, but somebody asked you about kind of that hanging over their head a little bit. Was that tough for you guys to play through, knowing that maybe that could be down the horizon, playing in Buffalo, and they could wind up leaving?
Yeah, it always affects a team when you know they're going to move. And, you say to yourself, well, if the management doesn't want to keep it here, why the heck should we try? And a lot of players wouldn't give it that full effort. But, that's business, I guess.
I want to talk about the book, but part of it is because of your story. I mean, here you are, you're 6 foot tall. I mean, here's the guy, but you were a success in the NBA. You had to work hard for everything you had. Tell me a little bit about growing up and the challenges of wanting to get to that level of basketball and ultimately doing it.
Well, when I was 12 years old, I decided, I couldn't play baseball because you needed 9 people. So I said, let me play basketball. I just need a basketball and a hoop. And I would, walk to my elementary school, always dribbling the ball with my head up, dribbling between my legs, behind my back, and always assuming someone was trying to steal it. And by doing that for years, I developed, the ball became an extension of my arm. And so when I played, I never had to look down at the ball. I could look up and see who was open. And that's how it became, led the NBA in assists.
And then you have this book now that's coming out. Here it is, everybody. Why the title, Star with a Broken Heart, Ernie DiGregorio?
Well, because the book's a sad story of how I lost my basketball family. My coach, Dave Gavitt, who coached me at Providence College, and my teammate, Marvin Bonds. So it's a human story about issues that people and families deal with every day, mental health, drug addiction, incarceration. In fact, we're working with the governor in Rhode Island to work with his learning centers throughout the state to help young kids understand that we want to help them have a great future in life and not look at just the negative things and show them a lot of positive stuff.
Well, I will tell you, my wife is a substance abuse counselor and mental health counselor. So I appreciate that message because it's very important for everybody these days to kind of know that and the resources they have available to them and where to turn to. And then you have this movie project you've been telling us about. Give us a little more insight in that.
Yeah, the movie is from the book, and it takes place in the late 60s and early 70s when you had, the end of the Vietnam War, you had protests, you had drugs, you had oil embargoes, you had inflation, you had everything going on. It was a crazy, crazy time then. And it sets in that area. And you had so much racial divide that was out there also. And the book talks about all that and how a little white kid from North Providence became best friends with a big, tall black kid from South Providence. And it evolves in the end where we're trying to help save our buddy from drugs. And it gets really sad.
Well, listen, let's end on a happy note, though. You coming back to Buffalo. I love the things that you said about this city and why you love to come back. And if you can maybe say something to all the fans watching about how much you love Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo is the greatest city around because the people are real, and they love their sports. They love their athletes. And there's no better feeling for an athlete to be loved. And whenever I come to Buffalo, you've seen today how kind these people were, and Louis from Chef's putting this thing on. So it's like home. And if I do my movie here in Buffalo, well, I'm talking to Tim Clark. We've met before, and we're still talking. And we've got producers who've read the book and are interested. I'll come and live in Buffalo. So I love it here.
Well, I can't help you on the basketball side of the movie, but if you need an Italian sports reporter to come on, I'm your guy. Thank you so much, Ernie. Thank you. Such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. I learned a lot about you today, and I can't wait to dig into this book. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That is Ernie D, everybody. Ernie DiGregorio. Let's get Lou over here. Lou, let's get Lou over here. Come on over here and say hi to everybody and tell everybody about bringing it. There you go. Let's bring Lou over. He is the, of course, the owner of Chef's Restaurant, Lou Billetier. And I always say your name incorrectly. You say it.
Billetier.
Billetier. Thank you. Lou, tell us about how all this happened with you and Ernie and bringing him here today.
Well, it's funny. Ernie and I have been friends for years, so it was a natural thing. When I read his book, I fell in love with it. It's a heartwarming story, and I said, he said, I'm thinking about making a movie. I said, geez, the film commissioner is a good friend of mine. He came to Buffalo, and we went to the studios, and we got a hold of a couple producers in L.A., and they loved it. So they're talking about developing a movie as well as his book.
I love it. That's great. Now, remember when we did a little roast of Danny Gare, and he had you there and your best friends, and here you are with Ernie D. This place, Chef's, being downtown near the arena, what kind of life has it afforded you to kind of really understand and know these athletes a little bit?
Oh, I've been blessed. I have this restaurant has brought so many friendships. It's unbelievable. Sabres, the Braves, the old Stallions, because we're so close. They used to all come in for lunch or after practice. So I've made a lot of good friendships over the years.
I love it. And of course, the book is right here. I can't wait to get in the Star with a Broken Heart. And then the movie, you're going to play a part in the movie? You're going to be in it?
I don't think so. I got a face for radio, so I can't even do podcasts.
No, Lou, thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks for the lunch. It was awesome.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time.
You got it. That is Lou Billetier. All right. Thank you very much to him at Chef's Restaurant. Thanks to Bob Koshinski. And how about Ernie D right here, everybody? A lot of you remember Ernie D. I don't remember Ernie D. The Braves were here when I was really young, and then they left. So I can't wait to dig into this book. He was really ahead of his time. I'm watching some of these highlights going, man, this guy was dynamic on the basketball court. Short and sweet, Sal's House. Thanks a lot for watching. Fansofbuffalo.com is where you go for all those Buffalo travel needs this year. Got some great cities the Bills are going to for some great trips, whether it's on the field and off the field and enjoying that, whether it's Houston, New York, Seattle, can be a lot of places, right? LA again, Miami. Thursday night game, fansofbuffalo.com. They're going to take care of your charter flight, your game ticket, your hotel accommodations. Check them out. Sports City Pizza Pub. We're here at Chef's, right? Great Italian food. Sports City Pizza Pub, pizza, wings, all the games. It's right there, 1407 Niagara Street. We just did a great Sal's House there with Stevie Johnson last week. Hope you watch it. It's right here on the Sal Sports YouTube channel. And, of course, my guy Eric Westfield and the team at Buffalo Logo doing a great job outfitting me. Now, I don't have a Buffalo Logo shirt on now, but the last show I did have one on. Check it out. I was at the Zach Hyman golf tournament in the Classic. Zach Hyman plays for the Oilers. He's a big Bills fan. I wore a Buffalo Logo shirt, and I had so many people, like NHL players, going, man, that's a great shirt, because they're Bills fans. They're from Toronto. They root on the Bills. But either way, check them out, Buffalo Logo, buffalogo.com. Thank you so much to all of them. Thank you to Chefs and to Bob Koshinski and Ernie D. Thanks for watching another edition of Sal's House.